And hi, folks. We welcome you from the BMO Harris Bradley Center, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tonight, the first of our doubleheader. It is the Chicago Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks. And as will be observed all over the NBA today and tomorrow, a moment of silence for Craig Sager. Sager Strong lives on. The passing of our dear friend and colleague earlier today. Walked into this arena. We thank all of you out there, especially all of our friends and colleagues from the various networks around the country, around the world, and we pay respects to the two teams around the floor. We have the Knicks and the Golden State Warriors coming up in the second game of our doubleheader. We are certainly going to flow into a storytelling time when it is appropriate. As Giannis, it's so many lives that he touched. All of our camera operators, those in the truck, our audio.
I want people to understand this. He was more than just the colorful ins and the outs, and whether there was an injury or a discussion on a foul.
Craig Sager, we always thought of him as the bailout guy. Because when none of us had the guts to ask Pop a question, from Pop that we didn't get, and we weren't brave enough, but he was always the leader. For TNT to Milwaukee.
Here to Milwaukee, a very exciting team. Up-and-coming young team.
They got a foul and a basket as Jabari returns tonight. They'll have the second of a back-to-back. These two teams will play again tomorrow in Chicago. RondoPG again, and he hit my shoes. He had a full trunk of shoes. There must have been 50 pairs of shoes in there just to cover baseball. As Jimmy Butler had a terrific game against Minnesota. Went for 27 as
of slashing and getting to the paint, and they do have the two finishers as Parker knocks down. He's had 2 concussions and time away. That has hurt the offense of Chicago.
Dwayne Wade answers. Pass was off the mark. It was all set up. Now Parker on the other end. Parker has 12 already. Now a turnover from a young point guard who has protected the ball very well this season. And Butler sets up top. He is due back maybe before the year the Bulls are hopeful. Inside Lopez. And the ball bouncing.
Difficult for Butler to get clean looks at the rim.
Let's bring in Dennis Scott now. Dennis, I know you had a chance to talk to Jabari. He's been the early story in this game.
Yeah, B.A. talked about 2 years being removed from the knee surgery. Feeling good.
Had some moments. Bucks are a rebuilding franchise, and this is the guy that's going to take them there. As RondoPG gets a finger roll that time. Get him in positions that defenders can't comprehend either, and he can do that. The North Pole.
Yes, man, it is freezing around here.
Teletovic for 3 by the Bulls. Teletovic on the drive this time with Valentine on a tough shot. Scores the basket, who draws the double team. And Valentine, those long arms of RondoPG. RondoPG runs the floor and a two-handed jam.
Block shots and steals.
5 major categories as Felicio finishes at the rim. Nice. The 5 statistics. Last to do it, to lead their team in those 5, as Terry misses the 3. Offensive board, Dellavedova. Dellavedova can't get it to go. RondoPG does get it. Categories. That was the 08 Cleveland Cavaliers. It is a rare feat indeed, as Wade with a little run. 7.
That's a pretty good lift. If he's able to sustain that as Teletovic.
But he did put 28 on the board against Washington over the weekend. Dellavedova kicks it. Monroe. One back inside. Needs to see one go through the hoop, and he finally gets one to go. And another timeout. The Bucks don't take many, the fewest in the NBA.
Yeah, but outside shooting, it's so critical in today's games because you have great guys like Butler and Wade who can, break down the defense, but you've got to have shooting on the edges. Case in point, nice pass there from him. It kind of just shows you the warts of this team for Chicago.
McDermott returned. Even though he's off to a poor shooting start this season, he'll come around. He's played in only 13 games, had a concussion that knocked him out, but the threat of that shot is
in area 21 between KG, who was here kind of talking to Antetokounmpo and Jabari and Thonmaker as cool players to speak knowledge of how the game is not only played, but away from basketball. What a pass there by
Malcolm. Jimmy Butler has been quiet tonight, and he can't get that one to go. Gibson keeps it alive, and it is a goaltend. Count the basket. You're starting to hear the rumbles in Chicago about this team as Tony Snell buries a three. The last 5 quarters, they are nearing -50 on the scoreboard. Final 3 quarters against the T-Wolves, and the first 2 here tonight. New shot clock. Gibson comes away with a rebound. Lopez kept it.
3 weeks. When you lose a game at home, up 21 versus Minnesota, and then you come out tonight and have the type of first half you're having here. Now, these are the type of games that really, he was my rookie when we were in Indiana. I mentored him, but you got to play harder. These guys have to play hard.
Settles and comes up short. Here's Valentine now. Rondo winding it down in the first half, and it has been an impressive showing by the Bucks as Gibson is denied at the rim. Henson got him, and they're going to count the basket and a technical foul.
Now, are they going to get the technical?
They built it to 27. Bulls did end the first half on a 14-6 run, and that leaves us where we are right now with the Bucks up 19, make it 21. Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade returning to their collegiate roots. It's
going to have to come from Wade, Butler, and Rondo. 2 of the 3 have championship rings and championship experience.
Jabari Parker goes. You're already in the bonus. Back to a 20-point lead. These 2 teams are going to match up again tomorrow in Chicago.
Charge, and it's the easy land.
Dellavedova, a little tear. 12 turnovers. The Bucks are protected as well, and Parker gets the friendly bounce.
And Karl Anthony Towns, another turnover for Chicago.
And Parker leaves it up for Antetokounmpo, and an easy 2-handed jam. Wade in transition, very patient with it, working on Dellavedova. Antetokounmpo with the reach. Rondo looking for McDermott, now back to Butler. And Butler all the way in, and Milwaukee lead. Approaching the 4-minute mark of this third quarter. First of our doubleheader tonight, Knicks Warriors. As McDermott was on the take, and now here come the Bucks. Snell gives it right back to Jabari Parker. Portis on him. And it's Butler who ends up on Monroe. There's Parker, 3 to the hole.
Points a game for this Milwaukee team.
25 tonight for Parker. As Valentine, the more significant role.
See what you got. Where's the defense?
Wow. Monroe finds on the scout team. And knew that he was next level as far as his ability to think on the floor and adjust on the floor. Telenovich, like what Tom had to say about Wade. It's an interesting comment, though. He said he was as competitive as you could get, but he was one of those guys who was brutally honest with his teammates, but he did it with empathy.
The ability of not being able to score from that 3-point line, evident here.
Off a game in Toronto, a blitzing by the Raptors on Monday. That was a 122-100 victory for Toronto. Dropped 122 on the Bucks, but Milwaukee made just 4 3-pointers in that game. And the Raptors made 14 in that game. 8 in the first. And finished the quarter up 22. Up 21 as we get the fourth quarter started. Don't forget Knicks Warriors lead. Denzel Valentine, some extended playing time. Malcolm Brogdon, 2 rookies at the point guard in this set. Telenovich gives it up. Brogdon all the way across to Terry, and he sends it over to Otto. Pulls down the rebound. And a tough night for the Bulls. Spent a lot of time on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. They have earned that praise. And you got the feeling by Jared Bayless, thrilling moment for these fans. And you talked about the way they drafted and the risk they've taken as Felicio gets one from. This is a franchise, Reggie, that hasn't had an all-star since 04.
That's going to change.
From the Chicago Tribune, Casey Johnson had a great stat, kind of a symbol of the Bulls' woes is Antetokounmpo scores. And played twice in the preseason, their first meeting this year. But they'll have 3 matchups against one another in the next 2.5 weeks. Cristiano Felicio falling for the Bucks now. Can the Bulls take advantage? And, they foul, and it goes. Rivers.
Good strength there.
Did not play in that loss against Minnesota. Snell breaks free, and Portis swats it, but count it.
How about the pass there by...
Approaching the 4-minute mark. Turned out to be a good game. McDermott for three. Yes! 16 Chicago turnovers. Up top. Oh,
Two young stars. He knew he was going to get that type of effort because of the level of opponent. He wants these young guns as Butler knocks down with the span with the block on Butler.
That's where Chicago is desperate for a three-point threat. Henson! Dwayne Wade using the body so well. Score. Dwayne normally gets those calls. Jimmy Butler dogging Dellavedova. Now the switch. Butler on Antetokounmpo. That's a three. And Dellavedova! Earlier today that Craig fought the fight just like he lived his life and gave every ounce. And Ernie, we're thinking about you as well and what you're going through right now with Michael. And Sager Strong will live on. Been a tough day for our TNT family, but we saw a terrific game, Reggie, and shared some stories, and it was an honor to be with you on this night especially.